Yo, yo, what up, people? Welcome to the Joe McFo Show. Let's get some music playing. As usual, you know I don't like to work in silence, and I imagine it makes the stream a lot more engaging and enjoyable if we have something playing. So, let's see, is this going? Let me see, is it working? Can't tell. Ah, yes, it is. Excellent. My volume was low. All right, guys, so say what's up in the chat. Thank you all for coming on. I appreciate you guys. Today, we are going to be doing a character turnaround. So what that means is we're going to take this character that I have designed for Shadowboxers. His name is Zalaam, and we are going to be putting him in a side view and a 3/4 rear view pose, sort of like how we have here with Javen, actually. Let's get this. So yeah, the way you guys see this here, we're going to create a turnaround. Only difference is one of these poses is going to be gone. This one is just Javen wearing his hoodie. But yeah, that's what we're going to be working on today. We will see how far we get. And what I've already done is I have placed this. I placed the character here for a reference. And the first thing I usually do whenever I'm doing a character turnaround, I will always use height lines. So that's the first thing. First, I'm going to lock this layer here. And I'll give you guys as many tips on character turnarounds as I can throughout this stream. But one thing that is key, you want to make sure everything is lined up exactly. So for example, I have these lines connecting to the chin and the highest point of his hair. You don't want that to start moving at any point because so you guys know I'm a teacher, and sometimes I'll see in turnarounds is you'll have a nose that's like way up here and then an eye that's down here, and it's just all over the place. So consistency is going to be your friend in this scenario. We got Kathy on the stream. Hello, Kathy. And Mark. Ah, man, thank you for waking up so early in the morning. I appreciate you. Minette says, hello, my sound is awful. My roomie and I finished a scary movie. Oh, my goodness. No worries. No worries. Thank you for coming on anyway. I hope you don't get too scared. All right, so let's create these height lines. So when you're working digitally, you can obviously just do something like this where you can grab the ruler tool and pull things down. So it's creating this purple line you guys can see. Actually, I might be able to make that a little bit easier. So you guys can see that line. Oh, who else is here? Megan. Hello, Joe McFo fan. Happy Sunday or Monday if you're Mark. Thank you, Megan, for popping on. Let's see. So we're going to do this. Let's get the knees here. I'm going to get the knuckles. Ordinarily, I would do the tip of the fingers, but his fingers are kind of bent, so I don't really need to worry about that. Then I'm going to get the bottom of his shoes and top of his shoes. I think that's enough to start with, I think. Oh, wait. Actually, no. Scratch it. Let's get his shoulder. Yeah. And hairline. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's good enough. So what I'm going to do now, I have that as my guide. And I'm going to make sure I don't mess with that layer. And then I'm going to just pick a brush and a color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a very loose outline of the nude form of his body from the side view and from the 3/4 rear view. So this is actually pretty fun right here. All I have to do is just make sure everything lines up. So, let me turn off. Let me see. I want to make sure that this thing's not. Yeah, so it's apparently it's snapping to the ruler. You guys see that? So I don't want that. So let's. Can I turn this off? See, show ruler. How do I get it? Link guide to ruler. Is that how I do it? No. Let me see. Showing all layers. There's got to be a way to like turn off the snap. Does anyone know how to do that? If not, I'll just redraw the lines. But dark red. Let me see. Oh no, that's not it. Snap to ruler. Let's try that. All right, there we go. I think we're good. Okay, let's start that over. All right, so we're going to draw his head here. And I like to stay zoomed in and actually probably as close as possible, and then I can always move him over to the side. So let's see. His head is probably about this size. His chin is obviously down here. His eyes are roughly about this line, nose roughly about here. eye line, ear is this point. There we go. Now, whenever you're drawing a character from the side view, one of the things you want to remember is that it creates a certain flow. There's like an S curve to the body. So you have the head here, you go back for the neck, forward again for the rib cage, go back again for the pelvis, and you create this sort of curve right here, or better yet, you kind of see that. And then I'm going to have the knees come out, and bam. I want to have the feet line up with the bottom of the heel right here, because this means this represents the flatness of the heel. When I turn to the side, it will just line up properly. Let's see. Just so you know, there are a couple of icons on the top bar that you can use to toggle snaps. Obviously, there's no reason to do so for a turnaround, but for environments, it's really useful. Thank you. I was not aware of this, but I will become aware of it because you are the Clip Studio guru. All right, let's see. Now, one thing also to keep in mind, just anatomically speaking, is you want to have, so we use the Photoshop, you want to have a straight line coming down from the back of the shoulders. Actually, let me just draw this out a little bit more fully. So once you get the back of the shoulders roughly where that would be, and you draw a straight line going down, this is where you want the back of your heel to be. And this helps with creating balance. Otherwise, he'll be looking like Michael Jackson in Smooth Criminal, where he's just leaning, right? We don't want a character that looks like that when you're doing a turnaround. So have the heel right there. And you can also line it up with the buttocks right here as well, or the booty. And you want to have it, make sure it intersects these 3 points: shoulder, butt, and the heel, right? Typically, you'll have some things kind of going outside of this too. So if I pull this leg back, probably have the calf muscle reach out a little bit further. Right. There we go. He's pretty skinny, so we can keep that in mind. Have his arm here. His arm's gonna, I might separate his arm depending on how things go. Sometimes when you're drawing a character, you want to just remove the arm so that it can reveal what's happening underneath. Because his design isn't that complex on the side, I might not need to do that. But that is something that I will often do. So let's say that that's my side. And then let's see my 3/4 rear. And I will do the same thing. Why is this all weird? There we go. Let's lock this too. All right. So my goal, by the way, I would like to see if I can at least get a tight rough for both poses. And then the next stream, I can do like clean lines or something like that. Now, in this stage, there is still going to be a level of design, because we haven't figured out the back of him yet. We don't know if the back of his jacket has some cool elements or something. So this is the stage where we figure all that stuff out. Okay. So you got that. The lips are here. And I also have to consider like how wide the face is. I want to make him too flat, but I also don't want to make him feel like he's not proportionate, right? Even things as simple as where his hair falls off, I want to make sure that I create a visual for that. Okay. Then the 3/4 rear, same kind of thing. This pose is a little bit more difficult, in my opinion, especially when it comes to the legs. And because most people don't typically draw the face at this angle. But I think with some practice, it's easier to get a hold of. And I'm going to use this Javen for reference over here. As far as his face shape goes, they are cousins after all. Do you make your students do hand-drawn turnarounds like on paper? Seems like it would be harder. No, I don't think there's a need to do that personally. I think you can get just as good results digitally. Have I done a turnaround on paper? Maybe in high school when I didn't even have access to Photoshop. But I've never personally required that of them. I don't think that's necessarily fair. All my students that I've ever had work digitally primarily. For a concept artist in games, like, it just makes sense. Now, that does not mean that I advocate for letting go of pencil and paper, right? I'm a very big advocate of that. Anyone who knows me well knows I still draw on paper. But when you're talking about working professionally and stuff, definitely want to know how to use digital. Okay, so this pose is always a little bit trickier. As far as the heel goes, you want to make sure that the one that's closest to us is a little bit longer because it's coming forward into space. The leg that is kind of standing right here is going to be right on this line. So, and this foot's going to be going back in space. Create that little triangle here. This is the stage where everything is just gets a little tricky, so I might have to decide how big I want the face or the head to be. And then, let's see, got the rib cage here. I want to keep in mind that the body still has that S curve like I drew over here, but instead it's going to be kind of going like this. Like if I have my head, rib cage is kind of going like this. The pelvis is kind of coming back. I'm doing it way more extreme so you guys can get it. But it's going this direction and that direction. And then the legs kind of come back down like this. Have you ever had to stop drawing due to an injury or overuse? I have lots of questions tonight, apparently. No, please bring the questions because otherwise I'm just going to be like talking to myself the whole time. And I love interacting with you guys. So please ask all the questions you want. And that goes for any stream, not just tonight. But to answer your question, have I ever had to stop drawing? I have had some cramps before, but I've never had anything serious, thank God. I've never had to go to the hospital. But every once in a while, like when I was a freshman, or not freshman, when I was just starting grad school, I did have to ice my hand a little bit because I was drawing so much. I think that also affected like my way of drawing in a sense. Like I had to learn to draw softer with a softer touch. And naturally, when you're drawing on paper, you have a harder grip. When you're doing stuff like digital, you can change the settings however you want to in order to make the changes that you're looking for. But I do know some people who have had wrist bracelet or wrist braces. They've had casts. They've had tendons tear and stuff like that. Just all this really sad stuff. I don't wish that upon anyone. So you gotta make sure you take care of yourself, guys. Like most people are only dominant in one hand when it comes to art, and personally, I don't want to have to learn to draw with my right hand. Oh yeah, I'm left-handed for those of you who did not know. So yeah, it is what it is. Great question, Amanda. Ergonomics are important. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. By the way, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but last week during the stream, we tried a different microphone. Instead of using my AirPods, I pulled out another one, my Yeti microphone. I'm using that now. And I want to know, how is the sound quality? You guys hear everything okay? I assume that's been the case. Like you can hear me all right because no one said anything, but I just want to double check. I want to check the distance if I need to bring it closer or further away, all that stuff. Got my sound on now. The Paranormal Activity movies have gotten weird. I've never seen them. I've never been a horror guy. Sound is good. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I've never been a horror guy. The furthest I'll go into the horror genre is like Stranger Things, and I don't even know if I really. I mean, it has horror elements, but it's not like a horror show to me. To the same degree that I would consider something like the Paranormal Activity. But then again, I don't watch enough horror to know whether or not that's 100% accurate. So, all right. So in this situation, I think we're getting close. Definitely feel like there's something wrong with the neck and the head and this leg over here. This one. It feels like it's kind of off balance. So I'm going to select this and I'm just going to pull it here. And same with this leg. I think I can pull that back a little bit. Because I just want to have him standing straight up. I'm not trying to do anything crazy fancy with this. Trying to have him straight up. Pull that forward a little bit. And then I think that's actually not too bad. I think that could actually work. I'm going to do a tighter version of this now, and then we're going to continue on. So let's start with the side view. Side views are actually my favorite because they're easier to me. Okay, Kathy says sounds good. Horror is fun if you're detached from the story and all you do is yell at the characters for making dumb choices. You know, I could watch any movie and laugh at the characters for making dumb choices, but I totally get that. I just don't like dark things necessarily. Like I don't find enjoyment in watching stuff like that. I understand why it's appealing. Don't get me wrong. I definitely understand it, but I don't know. It's just never really been my thing. When I was a kid, oh shoot, did I draw on the wrong layer? When I was a kid, I did not watch anything horror related. Matter of fact, when I saw Thriller for the first time, that was like traumatizing. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. And, you know, I would freak out. I had nightmares about it. And I remember there were times when, goodness. This thing is, snap thing is still on. How do I turn this off? Anyway, when I saw Thriller for the first time, I was definitely nervous, and I was too scared to even get water in the middle of the night. One time, the way my room was situated, it was like this. It's like, here was my room, and I had the laundry room right here that connected to the kitchen, so it was a straight shot, and there was water right there, and my bed was right here, and I wouldn't even take that chance. I was like, nope, Michael Jackson Thriller gonna get me. You know, I was like 7, and so yeah, I was like, nope. I don't like a lot of horror. Kind of awkward for someone who made a horror game. That is a little awkward. It's a little sus, Megan. It's a little sus. Mark, that's what I was doing with the movie tonight, and I feel like it's just ripped off other movies. I tend toward horror about revenge or where characters fight back against the monsters. Yeah, you know, at some point, everything's going to be a little derivative. You know, there's only so much you can really do. All right, so one thing I want to consider too is the anatomy of certain points. So his chest is probably, or the nipple area, probably about here, roughly, I would say. So let's get his rib cage. And then this is going to be his arm socket right here. Lines up almost exactly with the shoulder, so I'm paying attention to that. He's got a little bit of an Adam's apple. And the other thing I'm paying attention to is I want to make sure I match the style that I've drawn of the other characters in. Now, thankfully, this is just how I naturally draw. So it's not that big of a push for me, but I do want to make sure I keep consistent. And not just for what I drew over here, but for Javen, for Atana, Ishnu, Kayla, all the other characters I've done for this project. Make sure it's consistent as possible. Okay, belly button's probably going to be about here. Crotch is about here. So yeah, the curve here in the back. That's pretty good. Not meant to have a lot of muscle. He's not a very muscular guy. Little Jordan is the cutest. Oh, thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. Y'all should. One of these days, I'll have to show like baby pictures of me because I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably significantly biased, but I was a pretty cute baby. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up not being allowed to watch horror to the point that Hocus Pocus creeped me out as a kid, making up for lost time and its good catharsis. I don't think I've seen Hocus Pocus either. Most of the time, if you're really into the story, it's the sound that's scary, not the visuals. Actually, it's funny you say that. I just saw something on Instagram where Jordan Peele was talking about filmmaking and the difference between comedy and horror. And he said the only difference is the music. But as far as, like, it's funny because when he came out with Get Out and Us and I haven't seen Nope. I don't know much about that movie. But when he came out with those movies, everyone was kind of shocked because we know him for the Key and Peele skits, right? But if you really think about it, comedy and horror, what they have in common is timing. You know, the anticipation, the build up to something. And all you have to do is replace it with a freaky element, and then you got horror, right? So, and one of the ways you do that is with music. So, like, for example, I've been rewatching Breaking Bad, by the way. I'm in the beginning of season 4. And there's a couple of scenes in there where it's just there's a tracking shot, I guess, where like Walt or Gus or someone will just walk for a really long time, and the music buildup is so intense. You're like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And it's my third time watching the show now, and because I'm studying the scripts and everything for it, because that writing is freaking impeccable. But uh, one of the things that I notice is just how well they are able to do build up and how they create dynamic characters. Definitely, definitely a really solid show for the writing. Really, really amazing stuff. Okay, so now I'm drawing a couple of his facial features. Looks like it looks like I have the eyes a little bit off actually. Um, I'm gonna chalk that up to just him just like squinting his eyes. You know, this one could be a little bit lower if I wanted. It's not that big of a deal though. So like, it's good enough for me to, you know, have a solid idea of where the eye placement is. Okay, so that actually might be moved down a little bit. And the brows. So one thing you also want to keep in mind, because you're looking at the side of the head, the eyes are going to be a totally different shape. They're not going to be like how you would see them in 3/4. They would look something kind of like this. Okay, so you're going to be real careful about that. Of course, you know, my eyes are a little bit more stylized, so it's probably easier to grasp here. But even in real life, you want to make sure you keep that in mind. Or not real life, but like when you're drawing realistic anatomy. Hairline is here. His braids are going to do something like this, and then he's got that here, and then the locks probably going to be something along these lines. And I think we're only going to see one of them. Actually, this might be pushed over a little bit. Bam. Right? When it gets really quiet for a second or two, you should prepare yourself for a jump scare. Yes, 100%. When the music reaches a crescendo, sometimes it's just a jump scare, but these days it's more like often a fake out. When there's a crescendo, it's probably a mouse, but 2 seconds later, there's the big bad or the crazy person who warns you about the big bad, but you don't believe them because they look crazy. But you like Breaking Bad. You know Vince Gilligan got his star in the X-Files. You just don't know you like horror yet. You know what I like? I like suspense. I like thriller, but horror to me, like when it's got like demons and witches and magic-y stuff, that's the stuff I don't really connect with. Or like when people are possessed, things like that. It's not necessarily the like the style of writing. It's just the content itself. Breaking Bad I like because of the character moments. And I find it really fascinating seeing how they just manipulate these characters and how they're able to create someone like Walt who goes from, you know, the Mr. Rogers type to Scarface, or Mr. Chips, I think is what the pitch was for that show. So, you know, I'm all for suspense. I like, you know, good fake outs. I'm all good with that, but it more has to do with like what's in the content itself that I don't connect with. Okay, so there's a basic head shape. The ear is probably going to be something along these lines. That looks pretty good. And also keeping in mind the brow, so I can push that out just a little bit here. Probably going to have his cheekbone right around this area. And there we go. Now get his neck. I think this might actually be showing off a little too much, so let's bring that in just a bit. This is always a bit of a tricky angle for the head. It's always a little awkward. Let's see. This is if this is his hairline, then it's gonna be like that. Something like this. And then, yeah. Horror isn't always supernatural, though. The horror with real people scares me more than anything else. Uh, I get at that point. I guess it's more of a nuance type of thing. I just like I said, I don't connect with things like slasher stuff or things with like people being possessed or witchcraft. All that stuff is just not really for me. So if you guys like it, then hey, kudos to you. But yeah, it's not for me. Kathy says can't do horror either, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Yeah, the other thing for me, I don't like being scared on purpose. Like it's just why would I do that? Because like I admit I don't remember my dreams very much, but I imagine it's not very fun waking up in the middle of the night just being scared. Like I'm okay. There's enough scary stuff happening in real life where I don't want to have to worry about that. You know, like I like more light-hearted stuff typically. And even something like Breaking Bad, it's very dramatic. It's more of a drama. It's like a crime drama more than anything. But yeah, I like those lighthearted moments too. Because even in that show, they have lighthearted moments. With Jesse or with if you guys know Huel or the dude Bill Burr plays or Saul Goodman. Like they're all really funny characters. Even Hank gets some laughs out of me occasionally. Yeah, I don't like horror either. The only horror things I like are The Haunting of Hill House and The X-Files. Both have very strong character, but Jaws is a masterpiece. Is Jaws considered a horror movie? Is that what it's considered? I've never actually seen the whole thing. Maybe I have to add that to my movie list. Okay. So one thing about the arms that you guys should always take note of whenever you're doing a character, the arms are always naturally bent. You never have arms just straight out like this. It's hard to back up, but your arms don't do this naturally. They don't lock. So you want to make sure you have a natural bend to the arms whenever you're doing them. That's what I'm showcasing here. And we got the knuckle right there. And actually, what would be helpful for me? I have sketches of the body somewhere. Not that one. Oh, here we go. This will work. I should have done this earlier, actually. But yeah, so now I can get pretty solid reference of like his physique. Now I got to think about how thin he is. Thin arms. These legs would not have looked right. Glad I pulled this out. And once you get in a decent enough place for this, which I think I'm getting close to, then I could start drawing the clothes on top. I could do another layer of like underdrawing of the body too, but I think I might be all right. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's why I like horror with characters who fight back. I often feel so powerless and aimless, and it feels so good to see, even in fiction, someone fight back and take back control. I mean, you could say that for a lot of movies. Like, there's a lot of sports movies that have that kind of premise, but I totally get that. Yes, Jaws is a horror film. Ah, okay, cool. I literally never seen it. Never seen it. Although, do you guys know how Steven Spielberg actually got that role to be the director for that film? It's really fascinating. I got it from this book. I think it was in Think and Grow Rich, and it was like the updated version. But basically, Steven Spielberg, when he was a young man, he basically like took a tram ride at Universal, and he snuck off somehow and hid like behind a barrel or something like that on one of the sets. And then he waited until it was nighttime and people were getting off from work, and he made sure to walk past the security guard and make sure to greet him so that the security guard would remember him the next day. And so then he came back the next day or the next week or whatever, and he's like, hey, just here checking in. And the security guard would let him in. And then he basically just got real chummy with all the producers and everyone, and they were going to give the film Jaws to someone else, but he really wanted to work on it, and so he basically talked his way into getting that job. He's basically like, "Yeah, don't give it to them, give it to me," and he made Jaws, and it became the highest-grossing film of all time at that point. Yeah, what was that? 1976, 75, something around there. I'm pretty sure Star Wars beat it out like immediately afterwards. So I want to say it was like 76. It's kind of interesting. I know the year of the release of a film I've never seen. I think this is getting close. Arm. I think I can leave the arm on. I don't think that's going to be an issue. So let's see. The elbow is going to be about here, roughly. So I'm going to have this elbow come back and forward. Okay. I got some big hands, actually. Let's see how I feel about that. I think I drew the arm a little too. I should have done this on a different layer. Doggone it. Oh well. I think this arm is going forward a little too much. It doesn't feel quite natural just yet. So we're gonna do this. There we go. That feels better. Doesn't that feel better, guys? I think it feels better. And that would be the nipple. Wait a second. Hold on, I want to see something real quick. Okay, good. I want to make sure I was recording the time lapse because I totally forgot. I went through and watched most of the horror classics when I was 17, 18. Rosemary's Baby, The Shining, Halloween, The Exorcist, Scream, Psycho, etc. Maybe I missed it, but I never felt freaked out. I seen The Shining. The Shining freaked me out, but I think that one's creepier more for the like the silence of the movie. Like you just slowly see this kid. It's kind of like Walter White in a way. Like I find that fascinating. And I guess there's, you could say he was possessed too, but not quite the same way as like some other movies. Jaws came out in 75, my dad's favorite. He tells me every time movies are brought up, oh, that's cute. Draw on the layer, Crunk. Wrong layer. Draw the layer. Why do we even have that layer? I love you guys. I love you guys for that. The consistency, it's excellent. All right. One thing I need to do, I need to save this. Just make sure that this is all good because you never know what can happen. You never know. So let me just say Zalaam, turn around a 1. By the way, I think this is the most efficient way to save your files, just by numbering them with an underscore instead of doing things like final draft, final draft, final draft 3, official final draft, like stuff like that. I did way easier, just go by numbers. All right, something is up with this face. Not sure what it is. I think it might be this chin. Feels a little too strong for me. There we go. That's a little bit better. I get really anal about this kind of thing. Like I'm very meticulous when it comes to my turnarounds, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of how I process stuff. But I think it's really important to make sure you kind of know the general direction of how you're doing things. I don't know how I feel about this arm either. I think I could probably rotate this just a little, and then rotate this one back to its original space. Even this arm, I could probably closer to that. There we go. All right. It's looking pretty good. just judging the size of everything, that head on the side view is too big. Definitely too big. It's the right height, but I think it might be too wide. So yeah, these are the things you got to check. And it gets a little tedious and boring, but I'm telling you, these are the building blocks that are going to make a strong turnaround drawing. Why you gotta call me out like that? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I had to leave some stuff out at work and didn't want anyone to put it away on Monday. I'm off on Monday, so I printed off a sign of Cusco that says "No touchy." Oh, that's brilliant! I love that. My files are called legitifaduda.psd or legitifaduda or that blend. See, that would drive me insane, dude. I can't do that. My personal favorite is final this one. You know what I do sometimes? I will, since I have a Mac, I can color the tags. Sometimes I'll put like a green one for the one that's official. Okay, so let's get that head again. A very long neck. But then again, I think I designed him that way. Let me see. That's his collar. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just gave him a really long neck. Something about that just still feels weird, though. I think that's close enough. All right, so now what I'm gonna do a quick sketch of the clothes. And then what I'm going to do after that, I'll go into like the tight rough where I'll draw everything out. Sort of like, here, let me show an example of what the tight rough would look like on here. Cleaner than that. Let me see. I'm sure I have a version of it somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be that clean, but something between that and this, or maybe this level of clean is probably what we'll get to, and then I'll do the final. I'm not saying that's all going to happen tonight, but that's usually my process. Okay. So now let's get some new colors. Let's choose this dark blue. His collar. Wrong pencil. Not layer, but pencil. So I would say that's kind of what the collar's looking like. Boom, 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 boom. I think it's probably going to go out in front of him a little bit, so I might say that looks closer to this. I'm thinking I might have to do a version with him with and without the vest. Then again, I don't think we're going to see him without it, so maybe it's fine. And then again, it's just for my purposes. It's not really like mostly just going to be me working on it, so I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out if I get stuck. After all, he's my child. How many turnarounds have you done? Oh man, I've done a turnaround for every character of Shadowboxer so far. Matter of fact, here, we can go through some of them. Let's see. I got one for Asim, for sure. You got that, so that's one. We got one for the Abaddons here. We got Aletha. Aletha technically has two because she has the one with her mask on and off. Although really it's just the mask and the color change. That's the only difference. Then I have Atana. Looking like this. This is her updated version too. And then I also have Ghazali, Ishnu, Javen, Caleb, and Mashaka. So everyone's got a turnaround. So what is that, 10 characters, something like that? Need a Pickman redraw. That is true. I got to redraw him one of these days. Sup, Jordan? What's up, dude? Thank you for coming on the stream, man. Much love, much love. Yeah, I will have to redesign Pickman. I've been considering making him like an Easter egg in this world, like making him a character that everyone knows, like how we would know SpongeBob or something. Maybe Pickman will be like a superhero in the Shadowboxers world. I'm thinking I might do another layer under this showing what's underneath this vest in like a very faint line, because he's got his collar, he's got his chain and all that stuff, and I think that's pretty important to show. But for now, just get the basics. He's got his sleeve here. And then sleeve, that's right there. Bam. It's got it rolled up. Story within a story. It could be fun to name as many as possible. The first that comes to mind is the Crimson Chin. Yes, that is so true. I love the Crimson Chin. That was so great. With Fat Albert, you had the Brown Hornet and what was it, his pal? What was his pal's name? Oh my goodness. Start with an S. Stinger. That's what it was. The Brown Hornet and Stinger. Mm-hmm. What else? Keep them going, guys. Keep them going. What else? Who else do we have? Well, adding to the Crimson Chin, we also have Crash Nebula. That was also Fairly Odd Parents. Ultra Lord from Jimmy Neutron. Let's see. Technically, the whole Buzz Lightyear of Star Command is a whole universe within a universe. All right, so I'm just going to treat his hands like I did in Javen's turnaround above here. So I'm just going to kind of this. Nothing too crazy. Then he's got belts right about here. Now, obviously, I'm going to adjust and I'm going to like move things up and down as I see fit. But yeah. It's actually pretty easy. I don't really have to worry about his shirt because that's all inside of him right here. And then his pants are really simple. You just make sure you have to make sure that I'm following the proper lines or the proper thickness of his leg. And then let's see. He's got a big old shoe. Man, it says I'm drawing a blank. Does Nuck Tuck count? Yes, it does. It does. And that's the first hydration check of the night. Although I have been drinking water before. I talked a lot today, so I'm probably need it. And then, of course, Spider Ham. Technically, they're all kind of in their own universes, but I'll give you that one. Who else is there? Is there someone on my shelf I could see? I don't know. I'm not thinking of others. I know there are more. Yeah, I'm drawing blanks. Sorry, guys. Wait, what was that one from Invader Zim? What was the game that Gaz always played? It was like the Game Slave. There was a universe in there. There's a very famous game that she played. I don't know what it was. Kathy, you're a fan of Invader Zim. Do you know what I'm talking about? These jeans, probably looking at something like that. Too bad. And then he's got the 4-finger rings. Don't want to forget that. And let me change the music up real quick. It's good enough. No. No, wait, darn it, that's the same one we've been listening to. All right, here we go. And SpongeBob, there's Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. That is true. That is true. The Shadow Hog beat you to it. Yes, you did. The Shadow Hog. That's the game. Mermaid Man. Oh, shucks, Megan, you got there first. Yes, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are classics. They're classics. I can't believe I didn't think of that one myself, actually. Right, let's draw side view. It might actually help me to kind of group this and almost pull it to the side. I find this to be really helpful sometimes. I'll just lower the opacity of this one. That helps me just figure things out. So that's his brow here. Okay, so I had the brow too high, it seems like. So point is what we're looking for. The inner portion of the eye is like this. And then the nose still. Something like that. And then, yeah, it's a lot that's lining up. Like you see, as I pull this closer, I'm realizing all the flaws that there were. And it would be a shame to have like gotten started on this and like really cleaned this up when I had issues like this that are very easy to fix. So you always want to double check. Gravity Falls Detective. I don't know Gravity Falls like that, so I'll take your word for it, but I can neither confirm nor deny. Hey, does the Thriller werewolf count? Since that was a universe within a universe. I feel like that counts. It's not a cartoon. Something about this is a challenge right here. I'm not liking how this is turning out right now. I gotta be precise with it. So I think I could probably move this eye up a bit. I think that'll help. And this bridge is actually not as prominent. It's actually softer than that. I know that you haven't seen it, but you really should. It's good enough for me to want to get a tattoo of it. I didn't even know you wanted to get a tattoo, Megan. I never knew that. Wait, I always get Gravity Falls mixed up with another show. I think. Let's see. Oh yeah, I know Gravity Falls. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch it. Gravity Falls is amazing. Darkening Duck wasn't he in DuckTales first? I'm not sure. Hobie in another multiverse dimension. What's up, dude? What's up? Thank you for coming on. So I don't know if you know about our hydration game, but basically anytime we bring up a Spider-Man, Jack and Dexter, or Avatar reference, gotta drink some water. And I'm not sure if you were aware of that. But anyway, thank you for coming on, my man. I meant Darkwing. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I didn't know who Darkening Duck was, but Darkening was, but I know Darkwing. Let's see. All right, there we go. I think that was my issue. My eyebrow was too high, and then I can come back here with the chin. There we are. So that helps. And then the ear. Let's put that up. Here's basically gonna be like this. Let me pull that back just a little bit more. The height line for this part of the hair. All right, I think I can pull everything back to the side now. That neck is way too ferocious. And I also bring this a little bit lower. Thinner neck overall. All right. And then his hair is kind of shaped like this, kind of got like staircases on the side. Okay. And then the hair, I think that lines up pretty well, roughly. Admittedly, I will say I think I like the rulers on Photoshop better, but that's okay. Especially because Gravity Falls is very script driven. The jokes are incredibly well timed, and also I know how much you like script consistency. They have a ton of really good Easter eggs and secret codes and foreshadowing and stuff. That is true. I do like that stuff. The character I had a problem with that I saw in clips was Cipher. He kind of freaked me out. He's a little too malicious for me. Watched Across the Spider Verse again with my kids last night. Pay more attention, glean more profound insights. Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that, man. And Megan's like, "Do tell. Let's get hydrated in here." Yeah, I want to know what you think. And quite honestly, I could use more water in my life. So bring up all the theories, all the insights. It's possible we might have even brought them up on the stream before, but it's also possible that we have not. So yeah, I've got his ear pierced. Not looking too bad. Looking too bad at all. Some things like his chin that needs adjusting, like this right here, is a problem. It's just not. That's what I would say. That's probably closer. And I could probably push his lips out a little bit more. All right, it's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. Comes up with his chin though, so I might just kind of lasso and let's just transform that a little bit. Try to get some new music on the stream, guys, but then the files were too big, so I have to find another solution, unfortunately. I think I have an idea though for next time. Wait. By the way, speaking of next time, guys, I'm not going to be able to stream next Sunday, but I will be back the week after. Um, so yeah, just so you're aware, next week's live stream is cancelled. Space doesn't feel that convincing yet, but I'll get to it eventually. I will figure it out. This foot is also too small, so let's sort that out. And he's got the three parts of the shoe right here. And again, this is merely a rough. It's merely a rough. Actually, This should be his back leg. I actually made a mistake. So let me duplicate this. And then I'm going to pull this one down just a little bit more. In order for this to make sense, that leg's got to be slightly longer. Merge those layers. One thing about shoes, by the way, guys, it's a very subtle trick, but you'll notice all shoes, they kind of have a little bit of a tilt like this. So whenever I'm doing a side view, I like kind of showing that just a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, Bill is really creepy. That's fair. Yeah, thank you for admitting that. Gonna make him piss himself with all I can potentially mention about it. You know what, man? That will be a first on the Joe McFo show. I did go to the bathroom before the stream though, so we should be all right. Plus, I only plan to go for about 2 hours. I used to do like 2.5 hour streams, but I think 2 hours is plenty. So I usually try and cut it off about 8 o'clock my time. But Mabel and Waddles are stinking adorable. At first, you're led to believe Miguel O'Hara's universe is utopian because of the surface infrastructure, shiny buildings, lots of greenery, elevator, train to the moon, etc. But then there's an underbelly that seems like the undesirables. Ah, that's a good note. I like that. I think it's still worth watching. Just that knowing Jordan Bill is definitely a hard sell. Yeah, I saw this clip of him basically trying to get these people like sign a contract for their soul and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm okay. I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't even like joking about that sort of thing personally. No stream next week, a whole Sunday's night's sleep. Whatever shall I do? I know, man. I know. Whatever will you do? Probably snore. Megan, that was a really long scene for a joke. All right, let's see. I probably should have erased all of this before I merged the layers, but it's okay. Close enough. Yeah. So I'll make another announcement about the cancellation of the stream on my Instagram story, but then after that we should be good. And then after the next stream, one more, and we're at the 50th, and we got something really special planned. I'm not going to reveal too many details until the next stream because I got to get some things set up first. But you definitely don't want to miss it. Mark, it'll be worth turning your alarm on for. Oh, he's not looking terrible. It's not looking terrible. I could probably push the jacket a little bit more. Okay. Let's forget which button like rotates it like that. I gotta say, character design turnarounds are not necessarily glamorous. They're just one of those things that is it's rather tedious. It's rather dull sometimes, but it's so rewarding when you have it looking exactly the way you want it to, and the character just looks fresh. It's really fun to see how the final outcome is going to be. But it's also still like part of the design. You know, it's like this is just how this part of the process functions. Now, when it comes to these little locks that I have standing up, I'm not going to focus or worry too much about the direction of them. He just has 6 on his head, so as long as they kind of fit, you know, shouldn't be too much of an issue. And then they have to match the height line, of course. Yeah. Bill is definitely creepy. I think the contract was the deed to the mystery shack, not a soul. I may be misremembering though. It felt like a soul. When I saw that clip, I was like, Hit me up sometime this week. Phone call. We got to talk. There's some deep spiritual illusions and physics implications. Obviously, I guess since it's a multiverse based movie and across the Spider-Verse. All right, bro, let's do it. We'll definitely set up a time. We will definitely set up a time for that. I'm looking forward to hearing your insights. Y'all don't know, but Spectating Shepherd is pretty deep. He sends me some of the stuff he writes, or I'll see it on Instagram. I'm like, yo, man, this is deep. I bet he could do it on command too. Like, actually, Spectating Shepherd, you might remember this from the Boondocks, where it was the episode Wingman, and they're at the funeral, and Granddad just tells Huey, "Be deep." You remember that? He's like, "You heard what I said, boy. Be deep." It's great. Okay, I think this forehead's a little too straight up and down, so let's get curved here. So we'll come back. I think his face is feeling a little too round for me right now, which is what's throwing it off. But it's not that big of a deal. I think I can move forward at least with a cleaner version. That says, yeah, I can see where that scene will come off as signing away. So it's a very dramatic scene. Yeah, like keep in mind, like I haven't watched the episode, but I've seen the clip, and it's just like out of context, it still feels weird, and even in context, it sounds like it's weird just based on what you guys are saying. So yeah, I personally don't like stuff like that. I don't like to indulge, you know. That's just a personal preference, my own sanity. So in this situation, there might be a bit of a tangent with the chin and the collar. That's actually, I think, not the worst thing in the world because, the whole point of this is not necessarily to be like a pretty composition. It's to show how a design's supposed to look. So in some scenarios, that just might be the case. That just might happen. And then something I'm going to have to consider is things like the back of the vest. Does it have a cool design? Does it is there a continuation of the pattern on his front, or does it just kind of cut off at the shoulder? You never know. You know what, Robert? F you and all who live in your house. Yeah, the Boondocks is classic, man. Yeah, love that show. Love that show. I wish it would have made that comeback. I was really looking forward to that reboot. But to be fair, it's kind of first off, I don't even know how that show could be on the air with the sensitivity of most people nowadays. And I also think about John Witherspoon passed, who voiced Granddad. And he was a huge part of the show. And also Regina King, who voiced both Huey and Riley, is like a director at HBO. And being a voice actress again, like they would have to pay her a ton. Like she's a big name, you know. So I just don't know if I see it like working on that level. It's very possible that it might not. But I know John Witherspoon has a son who knows how to do his voice. I'm sure other people could mimic the voice of Granddad as well. And who knows, Regina King might have a soft spot for those characters. So I would love to see it one day. Regina King, if you're listening, John Witherspoon Jr., if that is in fact your name, if you're watching, please do us all a favor and continue with the Boondocks. You guys are epic. And you made us laugh many, many times. Probably pissed off a lot of people too, but mostly laughed. And make sure Aaron Magruder's on the writing staff because that 4th season was awful. That was awful. I read that The Office is getting a reboot too. I'm like, what the heck? I think I did hear about that. I'll be honest, I never actually watched that show. I've heard great things about it, just never got around to it. I'm not opposed to watching it. It just slipped by. But I was actually talking to an executive at a studio not too long ago, and I asked about. Uh, I had a concern about these shows that are constantly being rebooted, and the thing is, a lot of them don't want to take risks on properties they don't know if they're going to work. You know, that's why we're just going to get reboots forever, unless there's a property that becomes incredibly popular, like Hell of a Boss or what's the one, the Black Sad. Although that animation was crowdfunded, but still, like that type of that's kind of what's going to need to be. Or even Nimona, the Netflix film, was based off of a graphic novel that was fairly different in story, might I add. I didn't read the comics, I didn't know about it, but I did see the film, and based on what I saw, it was very different premise wise, but it was engaging. It was fun. Character Nimona was an absolute like menace though. she just like she's just so out of control. She would be chaotic evil, definitely. We got pants here. Regina King is a queen. I don't know if that was meant to be like a pun somehow, but that's a really cool way of structuring that. Fox Machina was also crowdfunded. Really? Wait, seriously? I didn't know that. That's so cool. One of my favorite designers worked on that show, Phil Barassa. Actually, here, let's do this. If it is the show I'm thinking of. Yep, definitely Phil Barassa. A lot of my inspiration for my style came from Phil Barassa. A lot of things I learned from him, especially the straight line construction that he does. Um, he just has a way of creating lines that's just it's just chef's kiss right there. But I did not know that was crowdfunded. That's pretty awesome. All right. I gotta admit, I'm actually pretty proud of the progress, considering I'm streaming, talking to you guys, and all that, and we already got basically close to two poses done in just over an hour. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool to me. Of course, there's still a lot more to be done. I still have to ink. That's going to take me some time. I may or may not stream that, depending on. Well, no, I guess I could stream that because it's not like it's going to take a long time for the colors. So yeah, I'll stream the inking. All right, and then the shoes. This is always where it gets really tricky with shoes, admittedly. So because they kind of go back in space, you kind of got to do something like this. And then this foot always drives me insane. All right. This foot looks a little bit rotated, so let's fix that. There we go. That feels better. All right, now let's pull everybody back to their original places. Let's just see how this feels so far. Oh, are these guys on two separate lines? Oh, let's merge these. I didn't realize. Not too bad, not too bad. I think I can make the jacket puffier in the 3/4 view, especially. By the way, guys, I definitely recommend having reference for this. Only reason, and even I have this Javen reference right here. That's what I'm using for this. I think it's always very helpful if you're struggling. got enough turnarounds where it feels a lot more comfortable for me now. But this is the first turnaround I've done in months, actually. Months. Shoulder down a bit. And I gotta check how big the armhole is here. That's actually pretty sizable. I have to do that on this view. Um, all right, cool. I think we should replace Jack and Daxter. Is that how it's written with Phil Barassa? You mentioned him way more than Jack and Daxter. That's hilarious. Maybe I should. Well, we can do that. Feels a little strange, but we could do it. His work is just so dope. I can't help it. He's not my only favorite character designer. Actually, I'll show you another one that I don't bring up, and I don't think he's as well known. Jeff Wamister, I think, is really, really good. I think I used this as a reference for one of my drawings of Aletha one time, but I really like his style. It's very similar in a lot of ways, but he adds a lot more curves. I think it feels more naturalistic sometimes. So yeah, his work is solid, and I love how he plays with things like the limbs too, like how skinny these legs are. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's so beautiful. And that, wait, not this guy, this one. Yeah, just excellent. I love this sort of stuff. Look at that pose right there. That pose is so nice. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's do something. I'm going to push the body a little bit more like that Jeff Wamister drawing. So let's just, let's do this. I'm going to have him stick out his, was just a little bit more. Work. Maybe not. Look at the drawing again. Ah, shoot. Wrong shortcut. There we are. It's going to be kind of tricky with this, actually, now I think about it, with the way the vest is looking. And actually, now I think about it, this should be hanging off his body a little bit more. Yeah, I think it probably look more like that, realistically. And I don't like that this is straight up and down, so I'm going to also extend this. There we go. The people who create Vox Machina had a target campaign of 750,000 for a 22-minute one shot for a prequel, but they reached their goal, went over $1 million in less than an hour. That's incredible. I love that. I love that. Probably because they had a solid team put together already. That's usually how that works, I think. Like when you can have solid proof that you're going to have a legit team building your stuff and you got serious credits. Yeah. Like, I won't say it's a no-brainer, but I think it helps a lot. It's like if I were to say I'm making a movie and Meryl Streep is starring, like that's a pretty big deal. By the end of the Kickstarter campaign, they had over $11 million from over 88,000 backers. Freaking crazy. That is crazy. That's That is absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing. That is inspiring right there. That's how I feel about The Chosen. Um, it's a completely crowd-funded show, and they ask for like 3 million an episode or something, and they're in the middle. They completed their fourth season out of seven, and completely crowdfunded. They're completely outside of Hollywood, and I'm like, this is just incredible, just incredible. All right, let me know if you guys have ideas for a design that would fit on his back. You know, like I could totally go on my Pinterest board and stuff, but I'm curious what y'all think. And this face also would need to be adjusted, so that's roughly where the eye is. That for the brow, cheekbone, ear is roughly here. All right. And then let's give him his crown. They're like the number one stream on Twitch. They're coming in with some heavy star power even before the animation team. It started as a Twitch stream. Can you go into more detail about that? All those guys are anime voice actor juggernauts. Yeah, I'm a critter. I watch them too. I'm still in campaign too, though. Okay, I'm starting to get confused. Maybe something that looks like an arachnid. Oh, I think that would be a little too close to home. I think it'd be a little too close to home. But I do think that's not a bad idea. Let me see. They even got the voice actress of Azula to be the big baddie of season one. Oh, Gray Delisle. That's really cool. Let me see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on my Pinterest board. And I'm gonna find some ideas. Let's go the patterns here. Maybe something like this could inspire. Like even a shape like this. Something funky like this that I could actually reproduce would be cool. Or even like this right here. That could be a cool shape. Oh. Let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to reproduce some of these. Not to say that I couldn't reproduce it. It's just, will it be a headache to do it? Is the question. I can do like material shapes, like we're just have some saved here, like things like that. But like this is Kayla's leggings, for example. But I don't want to have to do that all the time. They run a D&D campaign. Oh, okay, got it. You don't think it would be far from home? That's a good one. I like that one. No Way Home. The characters from Vox Machina are the characters from the first D&D campaign. I see. A scorpion or scorpion tail rather than a spider. That could be cool. Okay, that's interesting. We talking Critical Role recommend more so the Legends of Vox Machina cartoon. As someone who plays D&D, listening to a campaign is basically background noise because it's not as fun to watch. I know nothing about D&D like at all. Like zero. And And maybe because I didn't have siblings as a kid to play with. Well, I still don't have siblings, but maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know. My friends and I, we played like James Bond games. We didn't play D&D. I don't even think I knew what that was until I was like later in college or something. Not maybe at college, later in high school. Okay, this ear is probably a little too far back. It's gonna need some overlap. Side of the face is kind of bothering me with how round it is. So let's angle that up a bit. Goes probably a lot more broad. Good. I think the side view is looking pretty solid. The rear view, getting there, but I still think this needs to be puffier. Oh darn it! He's wrong layer. Maybe what I can also do is I can design or think about the back of his jacket a little bit later on. But you said Scorpion. I never played myself, Jordan. I don't have friends to play with, but watching them makes me feel like I have friends. Oh man, yeah. Then it'll not be very fun to watch if you don't know what goes on. Yeah, I have no clue. No clue. I do like the Scorpion idea. Get like a cool Scorpion silhouette or something. That could be kind of dope. Yeah, like a silhouette like this would be cool. Let's try it. I might have to simplify it. I still have to design what the creatures look like in this world because I don't know if they have actual um, scorpions that look like this yet. Just taking the basic silhouette. No, this looks better. I could definitely do something inspired by this for sure. It may not be an exact scorpion, but I do like that overall silhouette. So good call, Mark. Appreciate you, dude. I think that's six. Bam. There we go. This is where we're at with the character for Zalaam. Now we can just do little checkups. So I think this leg is probably too short. Let's bring that closer to like this. I also want to make sure I preserve that center line. So let me actually redraw that again. It's starting to get a little bit lost. Yeah. No worries. I just want royalties. I don't think it works like that, young Mark. I don't think so. I'll give you a shout out. Mark, all about the royalties. Never draw the backside, Jordan. I know, right? Never gonna do it. You will never see the rear view. I also don't even have royalties. Everything I've done for Shadow Boxers has been totally for free. I have not made a single dime on Shadow Boxers, but that's okay. Um, Honestly, this started as a thesis project. I think I told you guys, and it just kind of blossomed into something way more because it just was so exciting to me. For a lot of people, they just kind of leave it in school, but I was like, nah, this is too dope to leave to the chance of someone else. Just realized I didn't include this right here. A lock. I'll probably have a line going through it so you can see. Correction, you haven't made a dime yet. That is true. That is true. Yet. I like the way you talk, Amanda. Okay, but it didn't start as a thesis project. Uh, it did not, but it also did in a way. Um, Fun fact: I actually almost quit shadow boxers at least 3 times in my life because I felt like I couldn't do it, and because there were times where I felt like I the project was beginning to lose its potency. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So, but the reason I stick with it is because just for some reason I can't let it go, and other people seem to really connect with it as well. Like you guys have been on for pretty much every stream. I know occasionally you guys might have to miss one, but you guys, especially this core group, has been to like almost every one of my streams where I'm talking about this, and that's very significant to me. And yeah, I hope that when the project is ready and you guys do see it, that it'll be worth the wait. Really hope so. Megan and Kathy, what do you guys think? Do you think it'll be worth the wait when it comes out? All right, let's get these. First screening. Oh, first screening. That would be cool. Don't get me wrong. There are definitely overarching phases or iterations. Discount Demons is on its third after 2 rounds of pitches and rejections. Absolutely. Y'all better buckle up. Red carpet premieres. We'll have to figure something out. I think for Shadow Boxers, I think it'd have to be more special than a red carpet. I think we'd have to get like a neon carpet somehow that glows like this. I think that would be more appropriate. Like at Atlantis, when that movie came out in 2001, 2002, they had a blue carpet premiere. I know that they have that. They probably had that for like Finding Nemo too, but we'd have to have like a neon glowing carpet for when Shadow Boxers premieres. I don't know what that's going to look like per se. I think that's the only right way to do it. You know. All right. I'm actually very proud of how this is looking right now. Really liking this. Let me save these things into certain groups so that I don't get too lost here, because these are all kind of disorganized. So bam, bam, bam. Oh, let's move this guy over. All right, so let's do the side view. The reason I do that is because it's easier for me to kind of do this incrementally, meaning when I shift the face and everything to the side, it's easier to make sure I track it onto the 3/4 as opposed to doing the 2 ends and then the center. At least for me, it helps a lot. I'm excited to watch and point out references to the streams to everyone I know. That would be fun. Like pork chop and side characters who make it in. Yeah, we're gonna have to rate premieres. That's amazing. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna have to have pork chop, ASAP Bunny, of course, Chef Fufu. Who else have we created? Caleb, um, and then all the main cast. Zalaam's gonna be in there, and of course, the star of the show, Javen, our boy, my son, my son, Javen. My boy. All right. So I think we're at a pretty good spot. Let me just double check. Yep, these height lines look pretty good. Probably make that chin a tad longer, but this is looking pretty solid. By longer, I mean thicken this line a bit. There was one other thing that was slightly off. What did I see? Oh yeah, this right here. And what I'll do, I'll go in and I'll make sure that all the lines connect and make sense together. That's actually one of the final parts of this because that's basically like the final check-ins. You know. All right. So that still got a half hour. So let's see how far we can get on the side view. Thanks. Real G pen. Okay. This is the one I use, right? I think I use Real G pen. All right. How do I want to do this? Let's turn up the opacity on you again. And let me pull up the navigator tool. I think that would help. Oh, wait, no, it won't. I thought it was going to be different. Okay, that's not helpful. Can I see this at the same time? Okay, that's another thing about Photoshop I like, that I can have it on two screens at once. Can I do that here? Tiled, maybe? Ah, there we go. Okay, excellent. We're in business. We're in business. Let's just turn off all the layers that are useless. Let's move him over, way over there. We don't need all that. Just in case I need to zoom in moments like this. And now we draw. And I'm trying to pay a lot of attention to the line quality of the original. Okay. So these are where all the little decisions come into play, where I decide like the height of the chin or the length of the face and stuff. Like this face actually still feels a little thin to me, to be honest with you guys. So I might need to pull this back a bit more. Closer to that. Yeah. Okay. My vector eraser on to clear out his earrings. So I might need to curve that ear a bit more. What is it? Connect line, redraw lines. Okay. And let's go for the vest. And actually, the more I look at this, the more straight it is. So let's do that. Excellent. Then for the rear view, it's not the rear view, the back. Cool. It's coming along pretty quickly. I wonder if we can finish the side view by the time we hit the hour mark, or the 2 hour mark, I mean. That would actually be pretty awesome. I would feel very accomplished if I could do that. Because line work usually takes me a lot of time. But like I said, I think side views are by far the easiest of the bunch to do. Okay, so that's for the split in his brow. Cool, so that's a necessary thing. Another one actually, so let's just draw that in. I don't like that tangent very much, so let's bring it out. It's too thick. Maybe it'll just have to be a tangent. Yeah, it's okay. Uh, and then how high is this? Here. Like that. Yeah, yeah. That's what Riley Freeman would say. Yeah. That was his thing. His peach fuzz. I don't really have a method for that. I'm just gonna put random, little scraggles there. Okay. Probably do the arm last. Let's get this these legs. To make sure I see how Javen's legs are, just for style purposes. Remembering that there's a back leg there too. And then okay, let's bring this down. Let's get some wrinkles. And then I'll have to add this line on the side here because that's how most jeans look. Michael Jackson's thing was he. Wait, what? Can you try an ASMR voice? What is? Kathy told me the other day that she thinks that my voice sounds like an AI voice, um, which I don't mind at all. Actually, do you guys think I have an AI sounding voice? Maybe that should be my side hustle. I can read audiobooks on Audible or something. Get paid a couple hundred for reading. Let's see. It's not going to see that much of the back leg, but it is going to be present. This up a little bit more. That's how SB will get funded. By my ASMR voice, I'll totally do it. The AI voice gives me the heebie-jeebies, so thankfully I don't think you have one. Bernice, oh my gosh, have you been here this whole time? What in the world? Bernice in the house. Bernice is a good friend of mine from grad school. Thank you for coming on, my friend. Appreciate you. I'm here to lurk. Please lurk away. Give me those watch time hours. Technically, my students said that. Well, you've mimicked them too, but anyway, that's fine. That's fine. Should he have pockets? I'll give him pockets if it's necessary, but I won't do it now. And these lines actually like the thickness, so let me increase. I love this part of the vector tool is just increasing line thickness by a little bit. So all right, now for the shoes, let me just double check these. They work. Okay. Pull that down there. Here, I've got to be very careful about how I draw that line because I don't want it to look like the opposite leg, opposite foot. Actually, debating, should I have pulled it? No, it's fine. That's fine. I was thinking maybe I should do something like this in the top right corner where his foot is coming forward, but I think it's all right. I think he'll. Besides, this is purely for me and my portfolio because why not? No, I just got here. Always glad to be here. He's got the magic hammer space pockets. Exactly. Exactly. You never know where they're going to show up. That. So we'll just do a line this way. Boom, boom. That. All right. I think She was close, but it feels a little too flat in these. So let's see if we can. What's the best way to do this? Lasso it down a bit. That'll work. Then let's bring this pant leg out a little bit more. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. That thing to connect all of them. That didn't work the way I wanted. Okay. Never mind, we're not connecting those lines. Deal with them. Like that. Then check the shoe again. I need to be higher up, so let's do this. Cool. Oh my gosh, look who's here. Katie jumping into the chat to say hi from that place and Solo and me. So awesome, Jordan. Always love seeing your work. Also, I'm here for a red or neon carpet premiere. You've been here this whole time. Oh my goodness, Katie, that is such an honor to have you. Katie and I go back since college days. So long ago. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. Really appreciate you. Let's see. So, bam, there's that, and that. And these vector lines save so much time when it comes to erasing. It is absolutely phenomenal. Redraw these here. There we go. So end step. Well, that foot looks wonky. Let's fix that. I think redraw this line. Nope, that doesn't do it either. Maybe if I bring it down a little bit. The structure of that is weird. I'll come back to it because I want to finish up the face. I will certainly notice that foot is weird. For the most part, looking pretty good. Oh, and I still have the arm. To do. Let's see how much we can do before the stream ends in 11 minutes. Although I guess I could go over by a minute or so, depending on how it all goes. You've been here about 10 minutes. Okay. You gotta say hi sooner. Just so you guys are aware, I have no idea who's in the stream at any given point. So yeah, unless you guys comment, I have no clue. And that includes all the lurkers out there. Actually, it primarily means the lurkers out there. Yeah, maybe I'll do that sleeve after I do the arm. I'm not going to draw his tattoos on this one right now. I'll save that for the color phase, I think. I think that'll make it easier. That looks flat to me. Let's wrap this around. I can do better than that. And I think, oh, I know what the issue is. These lines are too flat. That's what it is. There we go. Much better. Aren't the cleanest lines in the world, but it'll work. You finished the line art before I finish brushing my hair. I'm gonna be impressed. I would be impressed too. I'll be impressed. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I still have. Let's see. I have the hand, the hair, and I gotta fix that shoe. So let's take care of the hand first, because I know that the hair is not going to be that long. I'll use this as my reference right here. And I'll just get rid of this. Subtracting. Then he's got his ring. Okay, and then he's got 1, 2, 3 knuckles. Well, technically 4, but I already drew that one on the end. I think this is actually too. Actually, do this way too low. This needs to be higher. There we are. And just one finger actually ought to be enough. And I don't like the angle of the ring. I think it's got to be a little more slanted for it to work properly. Yeah, there we go. I think of the curve of the fingers. I was thinking in too flat of a plane. All right, now let's get that line back. Let's see. Yeah. All right, let's get the hair. I'm gonna leave those lines for the eyebrow because I think I can just put it to a lower uh, opacity, like a gray or something, and I think it'll work. Hmm. And, all right, hair. I'm a genius. I put all these little triangles in there. I think I got that from Robbie Freeman. So let's just with, or better yet, we'll do this. Actually, let's just do this. Um, I think that might be a little too far out. So let's do this instead. This one is going to have a little bit of a that way. He's got the and Now, just gotta draw the 6 strands on his head. Honestly, I could probably copy the shape if I wanted to. Yeah, let's cheat a little bit. Let's cheat. It's not like I didn't draw it. We're just going to be a little bit more free. I'll do it maybe 3 times, and I'll switch the direction of it too, so it doesn't look too obvious. There. That's one, and then I could probably do it again. Merge all that. Probably want to thicken this one up a bit, but it's okay. Worry about it later. So that sure I get that. Some of these just a little thicker. Towards the base. Clean this one up. Actually, this should be, darn it. Should have drawn a connection point here. Let's change this. Bob you over just a touch. Oh, now they all feel kind of equidistant. Good. Well, doesn't he have the ring only on 3 fingers? Oh, wait. You're right. You're right. I totally missed that. Thank you for catching that. So this is why you have character turnarounds. Thank you so much. The 3-finger ring. That's what it is. I gotta make sure I don't say that anymore for the inaccuracy. 8 o'clock exactly. Didn't fix the shoe, but I think this is pretty good. I think it's looking pretty good. Gotta go, but Zalaam is looking great. Jordan, thank you, Bernice. It's all good. We're about to wrap up here anyway. Yeah, so let me, just because I'm so close, I'm just gonna fix up this shoe a little bit. What is the issue with it though? I think it's the heel down here. Long enough. Does feel a little better. I think it's probably too round here. right. I think we'll stop there for the day. We did a lot, though. I'm actually very proud of this. Oh, I just realized I didn't do the design on his jacket, but we'll do that next time. But what we did, guys, we started this whole turnaround process. We did a couple of versions of like the side view, and then the 3/4 rear, and just making sure all that was aligned. But and then we pretty much inked this whole thing. Now, there's probably some things I'll want to come back and edit next week, or not next week, but the week after. I might do something like I might make these bigger, these armholes. I might change up the width of something or whatever. But that's how it usually goes for me. I usually have like I finish it and then I'll go back and do my final check-ins and figure out everything from there. But yeah, that's what we got today, guys. Thank you again for coming on. I'm gonna read these final comments. Have a good night, everyone. The sun's about to rise here. Great stream, Jordan. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you. Looking great. Thank you, DC. Woo, well done, man. Bedtime here. Yeah, all of you guys go to bed. It's about to be bedtime for me as well. So I will see you not next week on the 8th. I will see you on the 15th for our 49th live stream. And then for the next one is the 50th. So everyone take care. Love you all. Peace.